Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So here we are. I can't believe I'm making this basically like a year later after my cancer diagnosis. I haven't really talked about this in detail too much since like a few months ago basically. But I thought we would touch up on the topic now because I just came back from one of my last appointments. Hey, if you guys have followed my journey, and if you have not, I'm going to post it all down below. I've been posting a lot of ballet content, and that's almost kind of to add to the fact that I'm starting a new hobby in the midst of all of this, towards the end of this cancer journey, which is just, if you take away ballet from it, like the word ballet and the specifics, like kind of, you know, workout that I'm doing, it's just starting something new in life. I was diagnosed last year, and I had 3 appointments recently, and I just wanted to catch you guys up that I am, even though I had my mastectomy, I think almost a year ago, I think it was like early summer. So even though I had my mastectomy since then, a lot of my journey with cancer has been Reconstruction, and as far as that goes, I'm pretty much almost done. I am still cancer free. I just had a mammogram and a breast examination. It's been exactly a year, and I'm still cancer free, which is something that, again, like past me couldn't have even imagined. After my cancer diagnosis, towards the end of it was a lot of reconstruction, and I had a lot of surgeries and like fat grafting. I'm sure like if you guys have experienced that, you guys kind of know. And now I'm actually trying to get because they had to remove the nipple on the left side and the whole breast. Now that I have an implant and everything's fine, I'm looking to get a tattoo. So if you guys know of any good tattoo artists, hopefully like one in Texas, please leave it down below. If you also had your nipple removed and had just like a mastectomy in general, share your experiences with me, please, especially if you got a nipple removal. Like, how is that going for you as far as like being with a partner, and how do you feel when you see yourself in the mirror every day? And I feel like I show some of my friends, this is like a weird thing, but I show my friends and they're all kind of cool with it. Like, I don't know, it's like a scar, you know, a battle wound. Hopefully we can support each other. I do know of one called Vinny Myers, if you guys are looking for one as well. He has really great reviews, but he's so expensive, and we'll see how that turns out. Like, you know, maybe I won't have to pay for it all out of pocket. My hospital also offers to do tattoos, but I'm just like really scared because I'm sure if a lot of women that are having reconstruction, you guys can all relate to this. And if you just have recently been diagnosed, like you probably have heard women talk about like how reconstruction, you want it to look good. And a lot of the times you do get surgeries to fix reconstruction or just to keep going with the reconstruction, because it'll be in phases. It's not just like one surgery and then you're done. But a lot of women have also expressed like having had reconstruction and then it comes out like bad, and then every day you see it in the mirror and you're reminded of your scars or your implant being weird or whatever. You're reminded about like, you know, just cancer and just like your hardship, and it's hard. It takes you out of the moment of that feeling of just feeling human and just like normal, a part of, you know, life that everyone else gets to experience. And I'm just like very kind of doing my research as far as like tattoo and stuff and like what I want to go do with that. But that's really all that I need to get. I did have one fat grafting and that turned out to be just fine. As far as like my body, really, I had showed you guys clips that I had like a shelf in my past videos, that I had a shelf right after, like, you know, having had the implant. And now with one fat grafting, which was so painful, I didn't want to do it again. Luckily my doctor said I didn't need to do it again. It held a lot of the fat. And I don't really have to see my plastic surgeon unless, you know, the fat goes down or just for any other aesthetic reason, which is kind of insane to think about because, you know, I just have seen my team so much, and a lot of you guys could probably relate to the fact that like you see them so much, you get used to them. And I love my plastic surgery team. If any of you guys go to MD Anderson in Houston, I highly, highly, highly suggest my plastic surgeon named Dr. Renee Largo. Please check him out. Yeah, and they do offer the nipple tattoo thing. It wouldn't be by my doctor, it'd be by the nurses, but I want like a true artist doing it because I want it to look good. I don't want to see it and see it not look as realistic and then remember everything. I just want it to look like, I like seeing my you know, the surgery that I had, and it looks normal, you know, especially over clothes. I've just been doing a lot of reflecting, and I'm so happy I started something that I said I'd always wanted to do, and I encourage you guys that are going through the same thing, you know, during or after, to start something that you like. And I was also finding it so hard to work out just because it you know, like dealing with cancer is so consuming, so many appointments and everything like that, and it was so hard for me to work out. And just, I feel like my mind's finally like starting to just repair. I don't know. Now going into life with like all of the things that I have to deal with, like tamoxifen basically, and then all of its side effects, it feels amazing to me knowing that yes, I have a loss of memory, and that really sucks, but it's not as bad as I thought it would be. And all of these things that, I mean, I'm sure for some women it is, but you know, for me and my experience and everything I went through, like I went through it, you know what I mean? And it definitely wasn't always the easiest, but I think one of the advice that I would give you is take it a day at a time, because that's all you really can do. Yeah, so again, I am still cancer free, and I just won't be seeing a lot of my doctors anymore, and I can just be like let loose into the real world. And although that sounds exciting, there's still kind of that part of me that wants to hold on to the people that have been keeping a close eye on me and checking up on me. And I'm sure like a lot of the patients, I've heard that a lot, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. You know, it's bittersweet. It's just like, thank God I don't have to deal with that anymore. There's so many things that I'm not going to really touch up on as far as like, you know, other kind of appointments. Maybe in the future I will. I definitely want to keep making videos. They're just going to be more spaced out, and if you guys have any questions, of course I'll answer them. Let me see. I wanted to just kind of say one last thing. I went into the last appointment, and normally I don't really talk to anybody when I go to the hospital. I don't want to say this because I might intimidate some of you guys, or like not intimidate you guys, but like I don't know, when you go into a cancer waiting room at the hospital of a cancer center waiting room, it's normally like pretty grim. I was able to bring my mom for the first time since like the whole time that I've ever had like my cancer journey. I was like, able to bring her in this last time, and you know, it was something that I was used to already, but she noticed like everyone's like really quiet, like, you know, why or whatever. Obviously I told her everyone here has just been told that they had cancer, and normally I don't really speak to anybody there. This time there was like a lot of people, which was, you know, of course very unfortunate, but I remember it being like that last year. Normally in the waiting room though, there's very few people anyway. So after I was waiting for my mammogram results, which ended up being clear of course, I did have someone speak to me. It was this lovely girl that said, I guess she noticed that I was wearing heels, and it was so funny. I remember like last year saying that I would never, like, we just like roll out of bed and go to all of our appointments because there's just too many. Like, how? I don't know. I feel like I've changed. Like, a year ago felt like so long ago. It felt like 2 years ago. Summer was like 2 years ago. I just feel like I'm so used to wearing heels now. I don't know. I really just feel like actually like after my cancer whole diagnosis, I just like became a woman almost. That's a whole other thing. I'm sure if you just like kept up with me, then you kind of understand where I'm coming from, but if not, that's fine too. She basically saw my heels, and then she was like, hey, you're kind of young like me. Like, how young are you? And I told her that I'd been diagnosed last year, but I'm 25 now. And she had said that she was 35, and she was shocked that I was 24 and that I had had my mastectomy. And she had just been diagnosed, and after she said that, like, I remember the feeling of being so scared of what that meant to be diagnosed and just the weight of it. So I really tried to give her like advice and stuff, and just like kind of like almost like because every time that I tried to reach out to like through different companies to reach out to like someone to be friends with, like another breastie, I guess, like a young cancer patient, like they never really kept up with me, and that's fine. Like, it's cool. Like, I understand other people have like their lives to live and whatever. It's more of a volunteer work. It's not really like a, you know, whatever. So I just kind of gave her as much information as far as like, you know, she didn't really know if she needed to have a mastectomy, but they were going to start with a lumpectomy. And I was like, if it was me, like, you know, based on my experience, like, I really wanted a lumpectomy, but I couldn't. And now, like, I'm out of, you know, having had a mastectomy, and I honestly remember it's so easy to think back and be like, oh yeah, I had this and this and now everything's fine. But I mean, I told her, I remember bawling, and it was so sad. Like, I was just crying before I'd been told that I needed to get a mastectomy. And now, like, of course, it's got its pros and cons, but it's not as bad as I thought. Even tamoxifen, it's not as bad as I thought it would be. Some days it has its moments, and seeing my scars in the mirror, some days I have my moments, but I think I'm just, like, really proud of how far I've come, and sometimes I forget that that was literally, like, last year. But anyway, you know, it was so sad. She told me that she had just had a 2-year-old, and I mean, she had a 2-year-old, and yeah, like, she'd just been diagnosed, and I just felt so bad for her. But I just tried to talk to her a little bit to make her kind of try to, because I feel like it was new to her, and I was just like, you know, being young and everything like that. There's the, you know, there's the isolation aspect that, like, a lot of people around you can't relate to what you're going through. And even though, like, the person that is with you along the road, like, or along the whole time with you, like your mom or your husband or your sister or whoever, your best friend, they still don't understand some aspects of it. But I was just trying to kind of connect with her. All that to say, I was just really reflecting, and sometimes I hear stories about, like, other people that are being diagnosed with cancer, and it brings me back to the present moment, because sometimes I can get so carried away and start crying because it triggers me so hard sometimes. You know, cancer and just, like, life is almost like, I feel like, not only cancer, but, like, people die and your best friends, and you know, but at the same time you get to, like, laugh and, like, love and care for people and just, like, be surrounded by amazing people. Like, I feel like in a way life is beautifully sad sometimes. I don't know. If you guys have any questions for me, I will definitely try to answer them in the comments. Just want you guys to know that it isn't as bad as you think it might be. Of course, just remember, I didn't have to have radiation, I didn't have to have chemo, and I know that, like, I always have this fear that cancer might come back, but I think, like, that's the only way that we can look at it. It's just, like, one step at a time. And that would be the advice that I would give to you guys. I hope that this meant something to you. I hope that, you know, some of you guys liked, hopefully you guys can connect with this video, and I'm just so happy that I am still that I am cancer free. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't post a ballet video this week. There's no way. I just had too much on my mind related to this, and I didn't film anything really at the hospital. But I think that's, like, a big milestone in my life that last year, like, I didn't think that I would hit. So I'm very, very happy. And I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, but I cannot remember right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will definitely make more cancer videos in the future. If you guys want to watch another video of mine, I recently posted a ballet get ready with me. Basically, I'm just showing you the progress that I have with this new exercise that I picked up, and hopefully you guys pick up something like ice skating or anything really that you've ever wanted to do in your life. I love it because it gets to challenge me, and I get to think of, and I get to meditate and just exercise. I hope that you guys are exercising if you are going through cancer, have had cancer. I will see you guys next week. Oh, and I just wanted to quickly say, I will have a video coming out soon. Just some of the things that come along with cancer. And yeah, I will see you guys super duper soon. Goodbye.